Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all know what time it is. You know what today is. I really don't need to tell you, but guess what? I am going to tell you anyway. It is definitely wind down.
Down Wednesday.
Yes, it is. And y'all know how we do it. You know what we do and when we do it. We're not experts at this. This is something that we love to do. We think about it, we talk about it, and we bring it to you guys so you can know about it. So in the meantime, in the between time, how you been, sis?
Hey, what's up? How you? I'm good. I cannot complain. I'm a little sad because my team didn't win. I felt like we got cheated, but it was a good time. It was a great experience. So I'm happy. I'm having a great week. My family is well, so it's not a whole lot to complain about. How about
Hey,
yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. That's what's up, Robert. What's going on? Yeah,
Hey,
what's
Robert,
going
thanks for
on?
tuning
Thanks
in.
for tuning in. I'm good. All is well. No complaints. It is what it is. We do what we do. So life goes on. It continues at the best that it possibly can. You know, kudos to the city of Cincinnati because I think the Bengals did a good job in representing the city. So it was good. It was good for the city and everything. They're downtown now doing the rally. So far, so good. Let's hope that they can continue the success and the road that they're on to success next year. So we'll see what happens. But life is good. It's all good over here. My week has been wonderful. No complaints. I'm alive. Let me say that. I am highly alive and it gets no better than that. How about your week?
Great. I mean, it was nice and sunny yesterday. We got some sun. It was warm, it was 60. So that always puts you in a good mood. That puts you in a different spirit. So yeah, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, spring is right around the corner. You know, Today
Yes.
felt like it was spring. The sun shining looked like it was spring, but we know we're still in the winter months because tomorrow your temperature could drop back to 30 and we get some snow. So let's keep our hands together that this too has passed on and spring will be coming here and back out in the sun again, doing what we do, having a good time, enjoying the great outdoors. Because I love being outside. I love outside. I love outdoors and all that other stuff. What up,
Hey,
AJ?
AJ, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. But I love outside. So, you know, we just got to take it one day at a time and we got to do whatever we need to do and keep pushing it. But in the meantime, in the between time, my birthday next month too. So that's why I want spring to come on and hurry up and get here because me, I'll be celebrating the whole month. I probably should have started already by now, but I'll wait. I can wait. Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. So I'll wait
Right.
a minute. But yeah, so I'll be celebrating March 1st all the way for the whole month of March.
Right. And also I've been noticing that it's been daylight outside a little bit long. Usually
I
about six
know,
it's
right?
dark. So I'm like, yes, come on, Lord.
Right,
It's been
right.
brighter outside. Like it's still a little bit of light outside right now.
Yeah,
So that's got me excited too.
I'm very excited about it. So keep our hands together. Like I said, we don't, yeah, we do the cross fingers, but we like to keep them hands together.
We have to
Because
stay
guess
prayed
what?
up, okay?
Exactly. Stay prayed up because that's
I'm
what
gonna
it's
come back out and come back in because my sound is low for some reason.
okay.
Real quick.
Real quick, because you know how we do it, people. We have interesting people on the show. We bring you people that for you guys to meet, so we can meet, so you all can meet them, so you know what's going on, not just in the city, but in the surrounding cities in the states. So we always like to bring you somebody else, weekly with information and knowledge. And not only that, we support our own.
Right, our own, we got to.
We support our own and we try to promote our own, which means that once we do it, we got to make sure that you guys do it. So tonight we have a wonderful guest on here, and she's an entrepreneur, female, recognized, boom, 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 boom.
Okay,
Um,
right. The ladies is doing big things. I'm telling you.
we're doing what we do in 22.
That's
Um,
right.
so we are bringing on right now our dear friend, Mrs. Brooks. Thank you, girl, for
Hey.
tuning in. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Unmute your microphone.
Oh, yep.
Yes, honey, so the people can hear
Oh,
you.
hey, Queens. I'm so honored,
Hey.
blessed, and humbled to be here. Good evening, everyone else.
Yes.
Salutations and greetings.
Yes.
Good, good. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here.
For
Thanks for
sure.
being on today. Thanks for taking out time in your busy schedule to come on and talk to us and the people all about you and what you do.
Do. That's right, for sure. So
Oh,
talk
thank
to
you,
us.
thank
Introduce
you.
yourself and tell us who you are.
So I am Alonda Ross Brooks, affectionately known as the Becoming Coach. I'm all things becoming. I am the host of I Am Becoming podcast radio show. I am a publisher, the head publisher at I Am Becoming Publishing. I'm an entrepreneur of 22 years. I'm a mom of three beautiful, amazing children.
Yes.
I've been a cosmetologist for 22 years, and that's just a little bit what I do.
Okay, are you from the city of Cincinnati, state of Ohio?
No, but I've lived here most of my life, so most people would be like, "You're officially a Cincinnatian." But I was born in Rahway, New Jersey. Shout out to the 07065.
Well, okay, 070605. I often say, when I'm not from here, but I often say that I took up residency here part time.
Yeah,
That's what I say. I have been here long enough. I have been here for a long time, but I always say that I took up residency here part time. So no, honey, I would not say I'm from Cincinnati, the state of Ohio. I don't care how
This Alabama girl, so she rolled time.
I am an Alabama
I got
person.
love for Cincinnati though, and the people that I've acquired while I've been here. So I love Cincinnati as well.
Well, we're glad to have you once
Yeah.
again, and we're here to talk about it. So, how long have you been in Cincinnati then?
Woo! Over, I want to say, how long has it been now? Okay, I'm about to be 38. I would say about 32 years now.
So, what high school did you go to here?
I went to Princeton High School Vikings.
Okay, okay, a public
Public
school.
school, for real.
Yeah,
Public, and the reason why we say that and do that is because we believe that public schools produce a lot of great individuals. You don't necessarily have to spend a whole lot of money on a great education when the public system is right there in front of you and you can get the same thing. So we always like to promote public school individuals because we think it's really important. It's highly important. It's not about where you went. It's what did you do after you went to that school.
For sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Recognize. So you're doing all these other things you got going on, you're a cousin. So you still do hair?
I still do hair, even though people think I'm retired. I'm still in the game. And Shanice is one of my longest clients and also fellow stylist in arms. But absolutely, I
Awesome.
still do hair.
So how long have you been doing that?
Actually, March 12th, it'll be 22 years I
Oh,
have been
wow.
in the college cosplay game. I started as a young buck, and I'm still kind of young. We both Pisces tuck, so our season about to come up. You know what I'm saying? We about to take
Yes,
the field.
Don't start her. Look, don't get
yes,
her
honey.
started.
Yes,
Cause you know the best is about to march through.
yes, honey. Yes, we are, honey. Pisces in full effect. They best to recognize.
Oh
Yes,
Lord.
yes.
That's correct.
All things amazing.
Thank you. You better let them know. Let them know. 22 years of doing hair, so you started extremely young, as you say. So
Absolutely.
did you ever go to college or did you ever want to go to college?
I did go to college. I didn't necessarily want to go to college, but I didn't want to be a hypocrite when I told my kids that they had to go to college. So I went. I went to college twice. I went for fashion design and theatrical makeup the first go around, and then I went back as an adult for pharmacy.
Okay. So you got your hands in a little bit of everything.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
you
does.
know how we do. Pisces, we dibble and dabble. We do a little razzle dazzle here, a little razzle dazzle there.
Recognize, honey. Recognize. Yes, we do. All the time. the thing about it is we don't sleep. We are consistently moving. We are consistently doing something, and it does. I do sometimes feel like it has to do with the zodiac sign, but then too, more of the person's individuality and their personality that comes with it. So,
For
kudos
sure.
to us because we let nothing grow long under our feet.
Facts.
You
Yes,
know.
Facts.
I'm super excited to talk about your book. So what made you just be like, hey, I just want to be an author. I got to put it all out there.
Actually, so it's funny that you should ask that. I wrote my first book actually in the first grade. So shout out to Glendale Elementary. My elementary school, they had a book bindery in the school. So I was just always interested in I'm a talker and I feel like words are so powerful and so expressive. So I've kind of always wanted to be an author, but I think that just in 2019 I was like, you know what, I'm really going to do this. Writing has always been therapeutic for me. I've been through a lot of things in life and writing has always kept me grounded and helped me get through.
So, what was your first book? What was the name of your first book? What's up, Akeem? Thanks
Hey,
for
Hakeem, thanks for tuning
everyone.
in.
Thanks for
So the first
listening.
book I co-authored was about entrepreneurship. I kind of told my story about how I got into entrepreneurship, um, and just the journey. I'm definitely my mom's most peculiar kid. I came to my mom one day. I was like 15, and I'm like, Mom, I just think that God is calling me to do something different. I kind of want to stop kind of going to traditional high school. I want to enroll in this homeschool co-op and I want to go to hair school full time. So that's kind of how I started my entrepreneurial journey so young. And my mom looked at me kind of was like, okay. I was like, Mom, I really want your blessing. But even if I don't, I've kind of researched the whole process and I'm like, I'll be 16 in a couple of weeks and I could kind of sign myself out of school, but I kind of like don't want to be a dropout per se, but I kind of just want to do something different. And so I was like, I found a way that we could kind of do it. And I could still pursue my education, but I can pursue what I felt like was my calling at the time, and that was to just go into hair and go a unconventional route. And so my mom was so gracious enough. She's a nurse by profession. She gave up her 1 hour lunch break and she came and she taught biology once a week for me to be able to attend this co-op at the Vineyard Church. And I bought all of my books and I enrolled in cosmetology school full time. And as a result of doing both, I was able to complete 2 years of high school in one. And I was able to obtain my cosmetology license 1 week after my birthday. So um, I've been in the game ever since.
Okay.
Thanks, moms. We gotta give shout out to moms. You know what I mean?
Shout
For
out to D
hold,
Chiz.
holding it down.
Yes, but it's important that, I think that support is crucially important because like you said, she was a nurse full time, and that's not an easy task. That's not an easy job. Plus, she had children that
Mhm.
she had to, take care of and look after. So she took time out of her busy schedule, not just, as a mom, but as a nurse too, to make sure that her children, and I'm sure she did it
Yeah.
for the rest of them too, to make sure that they were successful, which is what I like too, because believe it or not, you pretty much followed in your mother's footsteps.
Oh yeah, truly. Like had my mom not blazed the trail, before me, my mom basically let me know, showed me like literally tangible results that literally you can do anything that you put your mind to, and that no obstacle that is before you has to be a barrier to your destiny. My mom actually, I went to her 30th class reunion, and my mom actually wanted to be an OBGYN.
Oh
And
wow.
so I was very proud that she did even go back to become a nurse because, life happens and she still pursued her dream, going through a divorce, right? She had like three other people, somebody else's kids plus us three. And she was just like, I'm going to do this. Like, she didn't let childcare stop her. Or anything. Like, we attended class where we even dissected a cat one time with her. So, my mom was just like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna pursue my dreams. And I appreciate her for that. Honestly, I really, really, truly do. So what's exciting is my mom's getting ready to write her first book with me. I got an anthology project going on right now. So that's exciting. Super, super exciting. I'm super blessed and humbled that, my mom definitely pushed through, you know what I'm saying, and showed us. And Shanice could even attest, knowing me personally, that I don't let anything get in the way of what
You
I feel
can't.
like you should accomplish.
You can't.
Well, good, good. And kudos, like Janice said, kudos to your mother for being, the pillar and the foundation, not just
Mm,
for you, but for and your siblings, but for others, other individuals and other people's children too. Because normally back then, that's what mothers did. They made sure not only did their children, get the
Succeed.
best,
Right.
successful, but they made sure that somebody else's kids, did the same and got the same too. So kudos to mom,
yeah.
and, and good luck and blessings to her writing her book too, because she definitely has you to assist her and help her in how to do it. Because now look at the tide. The tide is completely turned.
Turn.
Yeah, it's
Where
a
you
full circle
are.
moment for sure.
Yes, and see, and that might be something that you guys can do together too. Is write a book, about yourselves. How, and look at you now coming full circle. So I don't know. It's I'm always thinking about something
Something to think about. Yeah.
other individuals. It's like how you got started, and how we got started, and here we are now. Helping each other do what we need to do in order to maintain our successfulness. So kudos to mom. Kudos to
Yes.
mama.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
because
And,
it never stops. The journey never ends for us. As moms, as Black women, it never ends for us. It's
for
a it's
sure.
a
Absolutely.
continued process,
For sure.
which is why I want to know when you say I'm becoming. How did you come up with that title? I'm becoming.
So I am becoming literally came to me in my prayer one day, and I was just like, God, like I'm on this journey. Um and God was like, you have to be patient with yourself. And so I am becoming is basically saying, like, I am not a finished product, but I am putting forth a good effort to become all things that God has called me to be. So it's basically, I am becoming is basically like, hey, I'm becoming, be patient with me, acknowledge the journey that I'm on. But it's also for you to turn inward as well. It's like, listen, you don't have to be on anybody else's time frame. You don't have to be on anybody else's measure. It's between what you and God called you to do, and your track is your track.
And you got to continue on that track, because your track is your track. The thing about it is you can't let anyone take you off of your track that you're on, because you and I know, the three of us know, it's easily done. That's easily done by anything. You can become distracted by
Very
something
easily.
else, very easily, whether or not it's, personal or professional, it can easily happen. And like you said, your mom continued her journey. She didn't become an OBGYN, but she became a nurse, so she, stuff, she got sidetracked along the way, but she still picked up somewhere at the
Mm-hmm.
end of it and maintained and kept coming. So
Yes.
I am becoming. Is that particularly about your journey, your mom's journey, your family's journey?
Yeah. Yeah. Dig deeper. Talk to us a little bit about
So
that.
I think it's kind of like a mantra. It's I am becoming is a movement. I think it is for all women. It's for me. It's for you, because I feel like we are taught that we have to be this superwoman all the time, and it's a way of saying, you know what, show yourself grace, show other women grace, or just people in general. So it I am becoming is a mantra. And so, like, I carry that with me every day. Like, I want to show you grace. I want to show myself grace. I want to be grace for other people. And I want to just be grace in the environment. So, I am becoming is, it's more than just my brand, it is a mantra.
So how does that play in with your family? Now, how you said how many kids you have?
I have 3 children. I am the third child of my mother's. And I'm the only girl. And my mom is actually the oldest of 3, and she's the only
Oh
girl. So I
wow.
definitely feel like it's prophetic for real for our legacy for sure. because I just felt like, my mom defied the odds. And then, oftentimes when you don't break those generational curses, history repeats itself. So, my mom also, while she was going through nursing school and going back for herself, and like, what, listen, life has happened, but I'm still going to go for my dreams and my goals. Nothing is going to keep me from that. And I also, too, went through a divorce myself. And I was just like, listen, I'm gonna get up from here. It's gonna be life
Yeah.
after this. So I definitely felt like it's for it. I am becoming is for your legacy. You gotta like leap into your becoming and become your best self. Like that's what I live. That's what I preach, and that's what I teach.
And so
Right.
how do your kids feel about all of this?
My kids are amazing. They are young entrepreneurs themselves. And I teach them like, listen, I have a plan for you, but my plan includes what God's plan is for you, and you can be anybody you want to be. I'm just here to be the guide and the compass. But if you like, mom, I'm breaking out right, I'm like, okay, well, let's go see what's over there. You know what I mean? Like I teach them like, listen, and if you met Dory, my younger daughter is definitely me 5.0. Like she is gonna do. I mean, all of them are gonna do amazing things, but she is like literally like the fire.
She to step out. She to step out one exactly.
Yeah,
So
I'm like excited just watching her like even be my child, like just watching her develop. I can't wait to see what God has for her
Right.
in her walk of life, because I know like failure is not an option for her. I like she came out the womb like, listen, I'm here. This is Dorian. I am here.
this is
So
what I'm doing.
I'm
Right.
waiting on it.
So, talk to us a little bit about it's Wind Down Wednesday. You guys know how we do it. We are here with Arthur Alonda Ross Brooks, and she's talking about her book and her whole brand, I Am Becoming. So, tell us how we can listen to the podcast. Your Instagram, your social, all your information on how we can link into getting the purchasing the book or purchasing it for a friend, etc. We
Yeah.
like to share here, share information, and give information. So, tell us how we can do that.
So I'm gonna type this in the chat so y'all can pin it because it's kind of written kind of very unique.
Sure.
But you can always go to my website, I must become.com. So I must become is my coaching my coaching practice and consulting firm. And it is all things Coach Alonda Brooks as well. So and so I must become is also a movement. It's saying like, okay, now that you've become, you're like, I've made the decision, I am becoming. Now it's like, okay, we got to go back and get our legacy. We got to make sure our legacy is good. So you must become. Like failure is not an option. Whatever life throws at us, we gonna jump these hurdles. Like it's up. We got to do it for our legacy and for people that are attached to us, because you stepping out of your indigenous purpose affects so many other people, not just your relatives. Like you are maybe supposed to become the best entrepreneur in a certain category, and you're meant to be an employer. You never know whose life you're going to change or impact by you just staying in your purpose. So it's a whole movement. So I'm gonna type that over there. And but yeah, you can go to imustbecome.com, and it'll
Okay.
also link you to the podcast, to the books, everything. And then all of that. And then I'm also a mentor. So I have Creative Young Nation, where we are empowering and uplifting young creative young adults. And that was basically God told me to start that because I was like, why are all these young people committing suicide? And like, why are
Yeah,
they,
it's going
so
crazy.
yeah, it was because like God was like, they have these spiritual gifts that they just don't have a channel or outlet for. They're so creative and stuff like that. And they need somebody else that was once a young creative that understands what they're going through to give them that outlet to facilitate the conversations and create a safe space. So we have Creative Young Nation. I'm super excited about them. God entrusted me with 8 amazing young adults that are doing big things. They are like the future in their different industries. So they're super dope. And I'm like so blessed and honored that God entrusted them with me and just helping me get the resources to help them continue on their journeys as young entrepreneurs, turning them into brands and giving them a safe space to be creative. So
Right. I think
Yeah, it's super dope.
safe space is definitely important, especially for this generation. We're so attached to our phone. Well, the younger generation, me and you, we know we gotta go without our phones, but the younger
Hmm.
generation, is they were born into it, and so it's so much different. They're exposed to so many different things, and so it's nice to know that they have an outlet, with the program that you have set up for them. So, I mean, that's dope.
Yeah, my thing too is I clicked out for a minute because I was trying to get your chat thing in there so I can give it to the people. My thing is how often are you able to go back to Glendale where it started, or to Princeton to the schools, or do you have? Because I heard you say you coach, so you're in the coaching. You do coaching too. So how is it that? How important is it? How often do you get to go back and tell the kids where you came from to where you are now, and that they can do it too, or do you get an opportunity to do that?
So unfortunately, I have not physically been able to go back, but my daughter does attend Princeton now. So through her friends and the people that we do encounter, we definitely uplift and motivate. But my brother is very active with the alumni association, so you know through that link in the generation, we definitely do and give back as much as we can. But I would listen. They want to invite me. I will come. Y'all hear that? Princeton, the plug, Bike Nation, invite me in. I will definitely come and talk to the young people for sure. But I definitely have become an ambassador for a young adults magazine as well. So writing. So I definitely want to do more, and I definitely always try to impact. Like my son is a Cub Scout. I help out there, and a lot of those kids go to Princeton. So there are indirect ways that I also give back in the community as well. So
Do you
I'm
know
definitely
any?
looking.
Do you know
Go
any
ahead.
principals, teachers? This would have been a great time. Like Black History Month would have been a wonderful time for you to come and share your story at the school with the students and with the staff. Even if it was just for a short period of time, even if it was just in your child's classroom, you know,
Mhm.
that would have been great. Have you thought about? I mean, we got a couple more weeks left. Have you thought about reaching out to them and asking them if you could just come in for a brief moment and just let them know I am becoming, and I am becoming what? Because when you were their age, you never thought you would be where you are today.
Absolutely. I listen. I reach out all the time. I do have friends that I went to school with that are in faculty positions there. So listen, listen from your mouth to God's ears. Let's make it happen. Sometimes when you put it out there, things
That's
start to
it.
move and shift in
In
the
the
environment.
atmosphere.
But listen, I'm always open and willing, and will be humbled and honored and blessed to do it. So I'm definitely always willing to do it.
So do you any of your kids want to be so let me ask, what do your children want to be right now? Some kids don't know, but some kids do know. What is it that they want to do or be when they get old?
So I know my older daughter wants to be probably a basketball player in the WNBA would be her dreamer goal. She's a baller, but she's very
Yeah.
academically sound. She plays the clarinet. She's very versed, but I definitely feel like she could be any of those things, but I also could see her being in running her own Fortune 500 company too. She's very astute and very smart. My son, I definitely feel like my son would be famous. Like my son has that infectious like personality. He
Personality.
plays the violin. I mean, like my son literally, I was like, God, for real, you gave me this son? Like he is a genius. Like, and I'm not just saying that because I'm his mom. I'm like, God, you showed that when you made my kids. But
Right.
he said he wants to be a doctor, but he really wants to be famous. Like my son's like, I'm gonna be in Kids Bob, but I definitely can see him being like either a doctor. He's very loving, very kind and nurturing, or he could be an actor. Like it could literally go any way with him.
So
And
none
then
of them
my
want
daughter, my youngest daughter, like sis, whoever is on Broadway, she is coming for y'all. Like she just started playing the piano, she sings. Like
She's
every
an
time
act
the
all
beat
on her
drop,
own.
she is ready. Like Nick can give her own show like today.
well,
Like she's
she at the wrong school then. She need to go to School of Creative and Performing Arts so they can put her on stage.
Yeah, we gonna work on that for sure. But she is ready, honey. She is like she watches Hamilton every chance she gets. She knows line for line. Like she plays the piano. Like she needs to tell you, she's like here for it. Every time the beat drops, she is like ready, like action.
Well,
She
good
is
for her.
a character.
So none of them want to write. None of them want to be a writer. None of them want to get in that field.
Right now I can't really see that for them, but again, you never know. Like, I mean, you never know. Like my older daughter likes to do nails and stuff. Like she's, so she has her own like little business. Each of my kids get a business when they turn 10, and they've both been doing amazing things. So they definitely have the entrepreneurial bug, and they're doing amazing with their brands and their businesses. So I don't know, maybe one day.
I tell her to look at Gabby's nail art, the one that does the nails. Tell her to look up on YouTube Gabby's, I believe that's it, or Gabrielle's nail art. Phenomenal.
Mhm.
She does a
Sure
great
will.
job, and that's her job. She's a influencer on social media. But since your daughter's, she's young, she can just look at and see. This is what we do. We share the information with help, so it'll help somebody else,
Oh yeah.
get ahead, or follow in the footsteps, or try to do something similar. But if she look her up and see how she's doing it, because that's all she does is nails. She does nails. She video record
Mhm.
nails. But once again, a black female making it happen in another way that nobody thought was possible to do. And your daughter's 10 years old and love doing nails. So who's to say that she won't be in a chair next to you in your
Yeah.
salon doing nails? So kudos.
Listen, I would give her the keys to the palace. Like, here you go, girl. It's your world now.
I have became a nail tech. So, in writing your book, like how challenging, how difficult was it? Like, was there other input? Are you is was it other writers with you? Was it solely you? How long did that process take? Like, tell us a little bit about that too.
So I've written individual projects, and I've done co-authorships. Um, and so writing, when it's really your gift and the talent, it comes effortlessly. I think the hardest book was to write was my book I Must Becoming Unapologetically and Unconventional was the hardest book because there were other characters that were a part of my story. And I think sometimes when a lot of people sometimes are afraid to tell their story because they don't want to expose other people, but your story is not just for you, it's gonna bless someone else. So that probably was the hardest book to write, because you're like, okay, this stuff is old but it's fresh to the reader, so they gonna be
Right.
going through all the emotions all over again, and they like, no, she didn't do that to you, and what happened? So like just those emotions. I cried a lot during writing that book because I was like, when you go through, when you going through, you just running through the tunnel like, I gotta get out of here, right? And you're like, you're doing the work, but when like it's like God in the Bible, he told Lot's wife, like, Lot and them, don't turn around. But then when you finally have completed the work and you've made your exodus, and you turn around and you be like, man, like just telling
How
my
did I
own
get out of that?
story.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, it's gonna be crazy when you read it and you was like there, you be like, dang, I forgot about that moment. Like, just it was some crazy times, man. It was some crazy, crazy times. But then it was also, I cried because I realized that God really put me here for a purpose, right? And so it wasn't like you were feeling the pain, but it was just like you was feeling the victory. To stand in that victory was just a whole different moment. But I definitely psyched myself out of telling the story for a while. Um, so I think that's the hardest obstacle when it's like a personal story, or when it's like a biography, because you like, am I old enough to tell my story? Because I'm still young, but like also
Right.
too, how people gonna react? Like, it's just it's deep. Like, it's
Their
deep.
emotions and their feelings are for the characters that you looking at it from a viewpoint, they looking at it from a viewpoint. So I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
heard a lot of feedback when it came to that aspect.
people was like, whoa. And then I think like too, I mean, you know me in real life. So like it was like having the smile through a lot of the stuff that I went through. People was like, you really like you are you lying? Like you really went through that? Like, no. He really dragged me across the carpet and sis got up and was smiling and went to work the next day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's real
so
life. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's serious. And I think too when you reveal the characters and they was like, wow, like we was there, we remember that moment and we didn't never know like all of that was going
This
on
was
in the
happening.
background. But it's
Yeah.
not that you were trying to keep it a secret. It was just like the living part. When
Right.
you can't break down, you got to keep pushing. You know, you got these small children, you going through school, you trying to build a business. Like it was no time to break down. It wasn't that I was like felt like I was too good to break down or I didn't want to expose that part of my truth. It was just that you couldn't fall apart right there
Had
because
to
you didn't
keep
know how long it
going.
was going to take you to get up.
Right.
And that's what
So,
we do. You know,
Yeah.
we can get beat down as much, you know, physically, mentally, sometimes spiritually. You know, we just it leaves us. But you know, it's about how do you pick it back up? You know, what do you do
mhm,
to come back? You know, the
yes,
struggle is real, and people don't
Yeah.
understand that the struggle is real. The struggle continues to be real. And I get it wholeheartedly. You know, I got divorced. I've been divorced for over 10 years now, but so I get it. I understand. You got to pick yourself back up. You know, you got to be strong for you. You got to be strong for the kids. You got to, you got to put on that
mhm,
okay face
Yep.
when people don't really know. So you have become. This is what makes us become the women that we are today.
yeah,
The struggle was real, and the struggle is real, and it's the journey is still a journey, and it's always going to be a journey. But the question is, how do we overcome it? How do we come out of it?
Right.
And make it a different journey, make it a positive journey. And
mhm,
I haven't read the book, but sound like your book, you overcame those obstacles, those difficulties that you had, going through life. And you can look in the mirror now and say, "Good morning, gorgeous,"
yeah,
and
For
that's how
sure.
for
that's how
sure.
we do it. But that's mothers, that's women, that's Black women. We keep pushing and pushing and pushing, regardless of what's happening around us, what's happening to us.
Mhm,
Some of us never tell the story. Some of
yeah,
us would never put the story in a book. You
True.
know, I sit here and I listen to you and say, I wrote it in the book. And then you got your friends who's like, "Oh, dang, I was there. I remember that." You
yeah,
you wrote it down. And so now they see, because some people, let's just keep it real, they think you be
They
lying.
oblivious.
They don't want to believe it. It didn't happen. But then when you reflect back on it and you put it down in black and white, and now they're reading it and they're seeing it, now it's like, oh, dang.
And
yeah,
it really checks, I mean, even it really checks your spirit because, depending on where you are, what character you are in that, particularly in her book, I'm becoming, it checks you because you're like, dang, I might have was coming at that time at a place where I was judging. I didn't even really know like what was happening or what was going on or why she was
mhm,
responding this way, etc. I think a lot of times we just do that in life. It's not on purpose, but then when we get to the other side, we like, dang, I'm sorry. I was really an a-hole to you, or I was really a jerk to you. You know what I mean? Some people,
mhm,
they step up and they apologize. And some people like, I still don't see it that way, So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's just refreshing to know that, for her to put herself out like that, that there are other women who have been through either the exact same thing, maybe not quite the same thing, almost the same thing, or worse, to be able to put it
mhm,
out there where somebody else can be like, hey, I went through that too, but I don't have that strength, you know what I mean, to share it.
right.
And
And
what
I
we
think the most challenging part is for people too is accepting how the person who lived the trauma chooses to forgive others. because you like, shoot, you should have burnt the house down, sis. And I'm like, no, it wasn't worth it because like some moments you gotta be like, am I ready to do 5 to 10? When you feel like really a lot of times you like, I was escaping the prison I was in. Like I was like, Harriet, I'm out. Like, go down,
Right.
Moses. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like grab the kids, grab what was essential, and be up out. Like, so it's challenging. It really is. But what you said, Shanice, is very key. Also too, I want to say, if you purchase my book, I don't even need an apology because I've already forgiven you. Because when you're truly people's friend, you can give your friend grace too, to be like, you just didn't understand what you ain't understand. And some
That's it.
relationships are just over. Like that was the thing, and God was like, it's the benediction, and I don't feel no malice towards you. I
Chapter
love you.
closed.
Thank
Yep.
you for being a part of my journey when you were, and we're good. We're good. I wish you no ill will.
And it's easy to see that and say that and move forward. Don't get stagnated. Don't stay in it, especially if it's not healthy
Mm-hmm.
for
Mhm.
you and your children, your family, but don't stay in it if it's not healthy for those that are close and near, especially the kids. There's something that we definitely don't want to do, and
Yeah.
that burden that we want to put on our kids, because they do look up to us, regardless of
Mhm.
what we think. When we think they're not looking and listening, that's exactly what they're doing,
Yeah.
looking and
Facts.
listening. So kudos to you for continuing to strive and continuing to put your hands and your feet and your whole body in several different things that you're doing as an entrepreneur and as a Black female here in the city of Cincinnati, the state of
Thank
Ohio.
you.
I think it's
Thank you.
wonderful. And I think that little girls, need to listen to this and hear this. And I'm sure your daughters have a story that they can tell too. You might want
Mhm.
to write their story in a book.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
There
They
you
can
go
write it with me. I definitely have encouraged my daughter to write a book, my older daughter, because I think like one of my situations was I was married to an addictive spouse. So I think like hearing the other perspective of a child would be so healing for other children that are going through it. Especially like channeling some of that anger, the
Yep.
resentment, all of that. So definitely I definitely will re-encourage her to write that story and help her write it for sure, because it's definitely needful.
Even if it's a short story, even if it's just like a short series of this is this, this is
Yep.
whatever, just a small series of something. Even if it's never, even if she don't think it'll ever get, move forward, but trust and believe
Hmm.
it'll go.
Somebody will need it.
Somebody's gonna
Hmm.
listen and read.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those that like to look, listen, and read, because I read a lot. Um, But yeah, I mean, I commend you, and I say, keep it going, and do try to reach out to Glendale and Princeton and see, not just for Black History, but period, anytime, once a month, if you can come and speak to the kids, at some point, talk to them about different things, just, because your story needs to be heard at the school that you went to,
Hmm.
and the teachers that assisted you, when you were coming up. I think that's important too, because some of those teachers may still be there. Who knows? I
Oh,
don't.
I've definitely gone back and told I'm very big on thank you, and thanking people, because people like listen. As much as I telling somebody that you apologize is important, telling someone thank you, because they don't even know sometimes how their daily courage is so powerful to someone else's experience. And maybe they was just trying to push to get through. They didn't even know how significant them just giving you a smile when that was their last little bit of energy that they had. But you be like, listen, I just was ready to end it all. And you smiled at me, or you
Right.
you bought me lunch, or like I'm very like my whole 35th birthday, I dedicated it to my friends and just telling them thank you. Like, I finally feel like I'm through this tunnel, and I just want to tell you thank you. Like, just girl, when you braided my hair that time, you grabbed my edges so good. Like, it, I mean, like, whatever it
Right.
was just so important to tell them thank you.
And I don't think, this is just me, I'm just saying, I don't think women or Black women do that enough. I don't think we reach out to those that we know who has been in that corner. I do, on the other hand, because, I know that there are not just family members, they're my close friends. And friends is a word that I don't use loosely or lightly.
Mm-hmm.
I do tell them thank you, and I do things for them, and I do reach out to them because, sometimes you need that listening ear. And sometimes you need to talk to those that know you, that like know you.
That's gonna give you the, yes, exactly. That's gonna get you. That's gonna tell you what you need to hear,
For
not what you
real.
want to hear.
Right. And that would check you when you need to be checked. So those thank yous are important. They are important. And I tell my daughter that all the time. Your true friends, you know who they are,
Mm-hmm.
who you can count on, who you can depend on. So yes, tell them thank you. I don't think women, period, do that enough. Black, white, Puerto Rican, Hispanic. I think we need to do it more
More.
than
Mm-hmm.
we do it now. Make it our business, like you said. You took out when you were 35 to tell all your friends thank you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I mean, even if it's nothing but once a month, pick a friend to say thank you to. Send them a card, or send them some flowers or a bouquet. I think that's just thoughtful. That's just letting them. We don't know what they're going through. Nobody knew what you were going through when you wrote that book until after it was written and they read it, and then they could remember the pieces when it took place.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
embrace the joy that even though all of that happened, you were still doing what needed to be done. There was no excuses made. You was there. You was, hitting deadlines, commitments, taking care of kids, whatever it may be. And that's a different type of strength. Everybody doesn't have that.
I think the beautiful thing, it was like God trusted me because it wasn't true. I didn't have no 20 stacks to go start no salon. God made that happen. But it was just the fact that he was like, listen, you are going through the worst season of your life, but I still trust you. That's powerful right there. He like, I still can trust you to be my representative here in the earth. Like, commitment, when there's no consistency, baby, let me tell you, you master that, you in with God. You win with God. Real talk. Because it ain't for the faint at
No,
heart. It's
it's not.
not for the faint at heart.
commitment without consistency is critical.
Listen.
That's critical. Commitment without consistency is critical. That's your next book.
Yeah, I'm actually am writing. I'm writing a book right now. I'm writing 3 books right now, so it is a book coming with that title for sure. It is coming. Listen, seriously though, y'all, like the whole I don't want to do it is so real, and it is so prevalent in the spiritual realm every day. But if you push through and you stay committed, even when there's no consistency, and what I mean by that is, when the people that you committed to or the situation that you committed to is not consistent and what you felt like you committed to initially, but when you keep your end of the bargain, it's something
Right.
to be said about that.
Yep. Because
That's
can't
the
nobody
highest level of integrity.
yes, nobody
It's
can
the
take
highest
that
level of
piece
integrity.
away either. They cannot take that piece away because you know what you have maintained the whole entire time. You know the commitment that you made and you were consistent with it. There's nothing and no one that can change that. And the biggest thing about it is we love the Lord. I love the Lord. Shanice
Oh,
loves the
yeah.
Lord, and you love the Lord. You can never do anything without him.
Nope.
That's where we have a tendency to lose sight and
For sure.
things starts to go astray, or it's like now you got to figure out, you're trying to figure out who, what, when,
How to
where,
reel it back. How can I reel it back?
and
Yeah.
the only thing that you got to do is get out on your knees and pray about it.
Yeah, I say you can try to do it, but it ain't gonna be well. I say you can't do anything well without God. Like you can do some stuff, but it's gonna be jacked up. So you might as well go with him, for you have to go back and get him, and then you gotta wait your 30 to 90 days for he even want to listen to you again.
Yep,
Go right the first time. Go right, because it's a whole lot of paperwork you got to go through to get back in the line. Just
That's
go
absolutely.
for
right the first
sure.
time.
And that's what we say. Never lose sight of what God has for you, because He has a plan for everybody. But you just got to make sure that you walk in it.
Yeah.
I'll tell one thing that when I talk to my friends, that's one thing I tell them. I say, y'all know how I am. I tell you in a heartbeat, Jesus this and Jesus that. And I'm not trying to shove no, Jesus or God down their throat. But I am a firm believer that, if you pray, it's gonna work.
For
If you
sure.
ask God, because He said you ask not because you won't not. So if you don't never ask Him,
You
I
might ain't gonna never get.
you ain't gonna never
Right.
get it. So I do truly believe in that, and kudos to you, and continue doing a wonderful job that you're doing, not just with you,
Yes.
Yeah.
with the community, with the kids, and with your book and your families, your clients that come through, just continue to do what you do, and and maintain your successfulness. And I want to say kudos, and we appreciate you, and
Thank
Yes.
you.
for even
Yes.
coming on talking to us tonight.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
so
Thank you.
and as we had to the end, we'll let you say again like what your website and your Facebook information is so that people can order the book. I am becoming, and then your other projects that you're working on now. So we let you put that out there, and then at the end of the show, which is in a few minutes, we like to end with a positive quote. So we'll let you give your positive quote, but just give them a little bit more information about how they can purchase your book, and what your social is.
So you guys can find me on all social media platforms, either the Becoming Coach or on Facebook and Instagram. It's I Must Become the Number One. You can find my show. It airs every Sunday on all major platforms at bit.ly/lowercase I, capital A, lowercase m, capital B for B, and then the word becoming. And then you can go to my website at imustbecome.com. And my positive quote, this is my mantra: do not do anything for man's approval, but do everything with man in mind, because we are all an intricate piece of this puzzle in a circle of life. And it's time for you to leap into your becoming, because it's never, and I'm gonna say this for the louder for the people in the back, it's never not a time to become. I don't care what it looks like outside. I don't care what the enemy tries to tell you and whisper in your ear. Don't let him trick you out your spot. Leap, because you're not just leaping for you, you're leaping for the people that are attached to you, up the road, around the block, around the corner, some decades from now. Leap. Had I not leapt, had I not got up off the ground, I wouldn't have I must become. I wouldn't be becoming. Listen, and people wouldn't be leaping until they're becoming. So I take everything that God tells you to do and do it with everything you got in you. Leave here empty. Leave here empty. If he tell you to say it, say it. If he tell you to do it, do it. Because I'm telling you, it take a long time for them buses to come back around for you if you miss your opportunity. But it'll come back. But go the first time. Go right the first time.
All right, I like that. My positive quote is change the world by being yourself. Listen, at the end of the day, every other spot is already taken. So why not just be who you are? Which ties into I am becoming. Be yourself, be your best self. Because that's all we can ask you to do. Everyone else's spot is taken. So be who you are and be happy in who you are.
There it is. And y'all know me. I like to keep things simple, but trust in the Lord with all thine heart, mind, body, and soul. Because once you do that, you're really too much. You don't have to worry about too much of anything else. And y'all know what I say: positive in, positive out. And I truly believe this quote: it's always better to give than it is to receive. And we will see you all next week. And thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you,
us.
Alonda. We appreciate you.
Thank
We
you, Queens.
appreciate you
I
for taking
appreciate you.
time out, coming on, having a discussion about I am.
Be coming. That's right. See you next
Take
week.
care. See you next week.